Hey YouTube, welcome back. We are finally doing some comic book reviews again. This is the Amazing Spider-Man number 32. Now we have a number of issues to get to, so we're going to try to move quickly through these reviews, just kind of give you the overview of the story. So let's jump in. This is a story by Zeb Wells, who's been writing this run. We have Patrick Gleason on the artwork, which is a... for me, it's an upgrade over JRJR's. Don't want to talk bad about JRJR, but his artwork is not my cup of tea. So we jump in with we pick up with Kraven and Queen Goblin. They've kind of formed this relationship, and Kraven is trying to help her remove the sins of Norman Osborn. And so we kind of see this ritual that's going on, and they're trying to remove, like I said, the sins, and we see that they are successful. They have bonded them with this staff, and they are going to try to give them back to Norman. You know, and Kraven's idea is to really kind of help Queen Goblin remove the burden of these sins. And then we cut to Peter Parker, and he's getting a phone call. Actually, he's first checking in with Norman Osborn, and Norman Osborn's working in the lab, the Oscorp lab. There's some recent dust up with Doc Ock and caused some damage, so he's just trying to get things repaired. And then we see Peter. He's continuing. He's walking, and we see he gets a call from Black Cat, and she's kind of checking in with them. They recently had a relationship and broke up. And he's basically saying he's going out on a, or a meetup, but, you know, she kind of classifies it as a date. He is meeting with one of Randy and Janice's, Randy, his best buddy, who recently, wedding broke up with a thing with Tombstone, and Janice happens to be Tombstone's daughter. And so, he's meeting up with one of Janice's friends to kind of see what's going on with the two, because they've been having some issues after the wedding was foiled by some Tombstone villains. And so there's kind of this, you know, kind of back and forth with them, kind of checking, you know, kind of feeling each other out. And then, you know, Peter quickly realizes that she is a lawyer who's representing Tombstone. And so he really wants no part of that. And we see that, you know, the waitress asks if they want dessert, and they both very quickly agree no. So we cut back to Kraven and Queen Goblin. They have a plan. They are now going to seek out Norman Osborn and return his sins. And we see here, you know, they've got some... I guess a goblin costume from, I don't know where. I don't know. It doesn't really explain that. But now we see Norman Osborn and, you know, Peter back in the lab. And, you know, they're kind of been building this relationship. You know, Norman really kind of feels like Peter is kind of really just kind of watching over him to make sure that he doesn't return to his old, you know, goblin ways. But, you know, Peter's saying, hey, it's more than that. I kind of see this spark in you, like the man that I first met, you know, when you treated me like a son, and, you know, a man who's very smart. And so, you know, they kind of have this little, you know, heart to heart, and they're really, you know, they're really building this relationship. And then boom, the lights shut off, and we've got something going on. And we see Kraven and Queen Goblin basically confront Norman. And then Peter kind of realizes, hey, I need to I got to get my alter ego Spidey ready and deal with this. You know, and Kraven basically reveals his plan that he's going to return his sins to Norman. You know, and we see this kind of, you know, back and forth with them. And we see, you know, Spidey spring into action and try to stop it. He's got to, you know, look out for Norman, you know, save Norman. And we see that Peter, Spider-Man, gets struck with the staff with the sins in it. And then Norman saying, "What did you do?" And we see this kind of transformation of Peter. And this artwork is done really well. Gleason's artwork in this issue was really really a nice contrast to JRJR's work. And we basically see, you know, a transformation here. Spidey, you know, beginning to laugh like the Goblin, and he is infused now with the sins of Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin. And so that's where we leave off. And so this was really a great issue. I really enjoyed this. This little story arc here, and we'll get into the, you know, the next couple issues. I've read ahead. So this was really some solid writing by Zeb Wells. And I know his run has been kind of a mixed bag, but this was done really, really well, this storyline. So Gleason's artwork was a nice break as well. Very well done with some of the panel layouts. And I thought Zeb Wells really knocked this storyline out of the park. I was a little bit on the fence with, you know, Queen Goblin and Kraven kind of hooking up in an issue ago, but I kind of get this, you know, I can understand why he's trying to help her, but also kind of, I guess, get back at Norman, or right or wrong, I guess you would say. But, you know, overall, I really enjoyed this. I'm going to go, so we're back to our 5 webhead review system, 1 being, yeah, pretty crappy, 5 being outstanding. We're going to go with a solid 4 for this issue. I really enjoyed it. It's a nice little run Zeb Wells has put together here. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought, if you've read this, or what did you think of the review. And we'll see you soon for issue number 32. Make that 33.